Hello, everyone. I'm just going to give it a few seconds till the video starts. I hope y'all are doing really well. Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? I hope you all have been having a wonderful weekend and you all are very excited about today's live. I have so much to share with you all about the divine masculine journey. So, as usual, I'm just going to give it a few more moments until everyone pops in. So show me that you're here, say hi, something, all right? So I'm just going to check that I am on the right. Okay. Yes, I see someone. Do say hi. So, this week it's going to be super, super, super exciting because we are actually going to explore the divine masculine perspective or the divine masculine side. Hey, Bharti, thank you so much. Good morning. Actually, it's going to be noon in New Zealand because it's 11:03. You're most welcome. I have been having an all right week. Hope you are having a good week too. And thanks for being the first person to comment this week. For a moment I thought no one was joining me here. So I was like, am I at the wrong chat or am I that boring? Hey Jacinta, how are you? Hope you're doing well. So I'll just give it a few more minutes and then we'll start. Meanwhile, tell me how have you all been? How has your week been? What are your experiences with the journey so far? Because April is an interesting month. We experienced Feb, which was a very moon month, so it was quite moody. And then we experienced March, which was full of ammunition on all ends. And then April is more of the season of spring in most countries. So it does bring in a lot of hope. So the energies of this month, I would say, is rather tricky or even sneaky. You may feel like it's going good, but there's a lot happening beneath. So, hey, Daniel. Hey. So, yeah, exactly. I don't want to go live on my personal FB page again. That would be the worst. Wow, that was a good few minutes. So, couple of months back, I accidentally went live on my own private FB page, and that was, hey Tessa, thank you so much for joining in. Thanks, love, for coming. So I'm just waiting. Okay, there's five of y'all. Thank you all for coming in. Every time you guys come in, it just makes me feel so excited. Hi, Cindy. How are you? So, how has your weekend been? So, we're just spending the first few minutes checking in how you have all been doing on the journey and what have you all been up to. Please feel free to share your views, comments, and would love to hear from all of you. And I see six of you all now. All right, I'm going to delve into the topic. All right. Okay, the divine masculine journey is a very tricky one because they are in denial most of the time. So, the divine masculine, they are in so much denial of the journey because it kind of questions all their beliefs. So that is what triggers the runner phase. Okay, I'm going to answer this one. Yes, I have felt the big shift recently, and yes, we'll talk more. We will talk more about this. So there's been a huge shift that has been taking place in this collective. So you all may be experiencing this in different ways. So it's not like general, but then some of y'all might be experiencing intense fatigue. You may be feeling migraines. And you may also feel like something big is going to happen, but you're not sure. But you know what, guys, something big is going to happen energetically, so you guys have to be prepared. Eat well, sleep well, be hydrated, trust the journey. You will be There'll be a lot of obstacles, so always do not give up on the journey. And thanks, Tessa, for bringing that up. Yes, I have felt it like big time. Like I just keep having visions, and it's beautiful, and I want to say that it's intense. So another key feature of this shift is that you would be experiencing past life memories with your twin. So this could be conscious, this could be subconscious, this could be while you're sleeping, or you could be just consciously teleporting, while you're in present to the moment. And then that will actually explain to you a lot of what is happening and why your DM is behaving the way they have been behaving. And a lot of questions are being answered. Oh, thanks, Becca. Thanks for joining the chat. We are just only about to start. I was just talking about this month's big shift and the energies, and how April is always such a month of, newness, spring, birth, and also an intense, enormous shift. Anyway, back to the divine masculine journey. So, the divine masculine, when they are starting to wake up, they go into deep, deep, deep denial. And one of it is that they start to question everything. And then they kind of go into their man cave. So it is in this period that they start to go experience the journey of self realization. So, this is a very, very intricate phase, and this is the phase that the divine feminine should take a step back and let their divine masculine evolve and grow, because this is the time when the divine masculine is in the journey of questioning and in denial, and when the divine feminine starts messaging them incessantly, or keep thinking about them, or trying to create practical meetings or moments, it pushes the divine masculine collective away. So I'm going to quickly say hi. Hi, Teresa. Thank you so much for coming in today. And Annalisa, thank you. And hello, big hello to my all of you great people. I love having this discussion with you all every week. So back to the topic. So that's why it's about hacking the energy. So that's why once the divine feminine has this awareness and knowledge, he knows how to navigate through this. So this is exactly what's happening in the divine masculine's mind. They are firstly questioning this so much to the point that they try to make a mockery out of you in some cases. So that is when their behavior becomes completely erratic. They start saying things like, I'm not interested in you. I've never loved anyone else, but they wouldn't admit that they love you. They will start behaving in very frantic ways, because what is going through in their mind is they just don't know. Like, they are questioning the whole template of love. Like, all of a sudden, they meet their divine feminine for the first time on earth, and they start to question their whole life, because the circumstances of meeting is, wow, it is, there's so many circumstances, and each twin flame journey is unique on its own. So each one of you all have your own story. So maybe that topic, we can delve into that another time. So for the first time, they make contact. So this could be anything. It could be non-physical contact as well. It could be through online. But usually, when twins meet in person, that's when the first major trigger of the dark night of the soul, spiritual evolution, everything takes place. So, what the divine feminine experiences and what the divine masculine experiences, they are actually in contrast to one another. So, the divine feminine is running because she's afraid of losing her divine masculine, and the divine masculine So what I meant running is like chasing the divine masculine, meaning running towards the divine masculine. And the divine masculine is actually running away from the divine feminine because the energies are so high. So the next point I'm going to make is the energies are extremely high that the divine masculine, without having any knowledge about the twin flame journey or what they're experiencing, not having any friends to talk about, they go through this phase called hell. So they feel terrible for hurting their divine feminine because they feel her pain, they feel her sorrow, they feel her being sad. At the same time, they are not able to discuss what is happening with anybody or anyone. So it is a very lonely journey for the divine masculine, in contrast to the divine feminine, who usually builds up a tribe when she's going through this. So the divine masculine is just so. Going back to the first phase would be denial. So what they try to do is, some divine masculines, they hide everything under the carpet and they try to move on with their life, um, try to get back with less challenging connections or less energy challenging connections or intense connections. So they might go back into their old boy ways of dating, or they will start making silly decisions with regards to the relationship status. So some may just be going on aimless dates. Some may lie about going on aimless dates to push away their divine feminine because they can feel the divine feminine's desperation so much that they are not able to push her away, because they just want to get her out of her mind. And it's not because they do not love her, or because they are just frightened by whatever that's happening. Like, think about it. All of a sudden, you are pulled into this journey, not knowing what exactly this is or what you're supposed to even do. And often, this is when the divine masculine, they are mirroring back the divine feminine's dark traits, which is energies of desperation, energies of commitment, energies of fear, energies of low self-worth, lack of mindset. So for example, if the divine feminine keeps having this mindset that I'm not good looking or I'm not good enough, the divine masculine is going to feel I'm not good looking, I'm not worthy enough for her, so I do not want to pull her in and break her heart. So that is step number 3. They do not want to hurt you, so they think that running away is the solution for not hurting you, because they are so afraid of destroying what they share with you. Which brings me to the next point: past life memories. So, this happens more intensely for the divine masculine than the divine feminine. So, they start getting visions of your of their past life with you. So, they would start seeing lives of tragedy, seeing lives of forced separation, cultural separation, and this creates more fear. And all the more they know that this love is sacred, and they go into the fifth point, which is protection mode. So they think by avoiding you or not entangling you in any form of a 3D connection, they are protecting you. And this stems out from the divine feminine's intense urge of trying to make this connection physical. And then the next phase comes about, which is the phase of jealousy. So the divine feminine may start feeling extremely jealous at any interaction their divine masculine is having. So it could even be like a friendly dance with some random girl at a bar or a club, but somehow the divine feminine maybe might get a vision or a purview of this, and then she might just go into that intense jealousy mode. And when the divine feminine actually goes into this intense jealousy mode, you know what happens? It hits back the divine masculine, and then they start feeling this energies of jealousy, and they don't know where it's coming from. So when you are feeling suspicious, thinking that, oh no, is my divine masculine seeing someone else, being someone else, your divine masculine starts feeling jealous about you. So they might be in separation with you, but they still feel jealousy. They'll be like, why am I feeling this way? Is my divine feminine seeing someone else? Oh, then they will go into what you call the warrior mode and be like, maybe she's better off with someone else. And then the gap becomes wider, So the divine feminine is here trying to chase the divine masculine, and the divine masculine is and is entangled in more doubt and fear, and then after that they are just going to be like walking around, unable to understand anything. So they will not even be able to be in a normal connection with anyone. So they might date, but they may never make a commitment with anyone, or they may be just trapped by a woman who is looking for something that is less intense, or something. So this kind of behavior patterns arise, and it's actually in direct connection to the divine feminine's thinking pattern. So you see what you guys are doing to one another. It's very much contrast mirroring. So it's not exact mirroring, it's contrast mirroring. So that's why you have to watch your thoughts, your emotions very carefully at this phase. You have to like keep elevating yourself and vibing higher, because you don't want to just. And one more thing is, you only meet your twin flame when there are no prior entanglements. So in some cases, it could be ending cycle, and that's when you meet. So it will never, a twin flame meeting, because it's divinely orchestrated, will never be designed to meet to create havoc or separation or duress to their other family, or if they have another family. So in very rare cases, twin flames are like never married, or they have never had sex, and they meet. Even they go through separation phases. So it's a constant entanglement of so many things. And always remember, everybody's journey is unique, so there is no exact path or phase that you have to follow, or think that, oh, this should happen, and so this should happen, and this is why this happens. No, it's not like that. Whatever I'm giving you are just guidelines. So the divine masculine goes through all this. Some fall into deep, deep, deep depression, which is the dark night of the soul, but that's how they experience it. They go into their man cave and then spend a lot of time there. They would have one or two friends, they will have limited communication with their family with regards to what they're going through, and it would go by so unnoticeable, because firstly, because of the past life memories, they think that a lot of it is in their head. They are imagining it. They're imagining all of this that they're experiencing with you. So you may feel like, oh, I've only met him like maybe for a few times, but why is it that he's running away? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, why? So the divine feminine spending all her time questioning the whys, like, why is this happening? Why? And then she goes into great sorrow and sadness, and that contrast mirrors back to the divine masculine, who goes through great sorrow and pain because they don't want to hurt you. They are figuring out the past life memories. They are getting dreams and visions, and they think that they're going crazy. Where is all this clairvoyance coming from? And men are usually a little bit more, it will take time for the divine masculine collective to actually understand themselves and their power. So they go on crazy party mode, or they do things that are extreme. So most divine masculines become intense workaholics. So it's just work, 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 and just work. And then the divine feminine is like, why? What's happening? Like, I'm not hearing anything from them. Why is their social media so empty? Like, what is happening? And then even that becomes like a jealousy point for the divine feminine, because she's trying to be like, why? Why is he avoiding me? They're just trying to understand the whys. And then the divine masculine continues to widen the gap and the connection with the divine feminine. And they start doing things intentionally, like not wishing a happy birthday, intentionally ignoring a text. Um, but it's not to trigger her, but rather to push her away. So the intention is not to trigger her or annoy her, but rather push her away, because the divine masculine thinks by pushing her away, I am protecting her. She's in a safe place, because and being entangled with me is only going to trigger past life trauma. So the past life trauma is a huge subtopic that I'm going to talk about today. So these past life memories that divine masculines get, examples would be like how you guys were separated. So this could be due to betrayal or sabotage, or your families may be from different cultural backgrounds, so one of them might have killed one of you, or it could be due to war. But usually the trauma is so intense that the divine masculine does not want that to happen again in this lifetime. So they just try to push it away. So just like how the divine feminine wants to face it and go all out to the point to understand what's happening, they want to run away from the point of explanation to find out their own understanding of what this journey is. And it comes from a very um, from a very warrior perspective. So the divine masculine is designed in a way to be a warrior, to be a protector, right? For the divine feminine. So they think what they're doing is the right thing. They think by saying mean things like, I do not like you, I'm not interested in you, I do not feel a connection for you. And they make you sound crazy, but actually, they are going through so much pain and suffering and insanity trying to figure things out. And the trauma is very painful, so painful to the point that divine feminines start seeing this past life in phases compared to divine masculine, who immediately start seeing points of separation, and that's why their behavior becomes erratic. So just imagine, your divine masculine watches you dying and the intense separation they face. Do you think they want to go through that pain again? Because they have so much fear that that's what's going to happen in this lifetime too. And they will do anything to protect you from that kind of a fate, because they have this feeling that we are never meant to be together, that destiny or something or someone will come and destroy this divine, beautiful thing that I have, and I don't want it to happen again, and I'm going to protect her. So they think that being distant and not being in union and being away from their divine feminine is going to solve this problem of history repeating itself as what they think that's going to happen. And then the divine feminine, on the other hand, all she wants is time. She just wants to spend time with the divine masculine, because that's what she lost due to the tragic circumstances that may have occurred in past lives. So for her, it's like, oh, I could only spend this much of time in my past lifetimes with my divine masculine. So all I want is time. So time is their commodity. And fear fear and protection is the divine masculine's perspective. So they're going through all this, so much of struggle, and then they become workaholics, and then they have no one to talk to, and then they try to peek in and do their own research, but they never get as far to the point of figuring out it's a twin flame connection. Sometimes they do, but even then, it goes into denial phase, because there's not much information out there about the divine masculine journey in comparison to the divine feminine journey. The divine feminines are the more outspoken ones. If you really look at it, the divine masculines suffer a lot within, so they try to deny everything. So it goes back to the first point. They are in denial mode and they deny everything, and they try to make their life normal, like how it was before they met you. So they will try everything, So some may try to reconnect with old lovers, but it's all not going to work. Usually, after meeting your twin flame, for both, strangely, if you guys ever make an effort to go into another connection, it it does, but then it does not. It's just entanglements of entanglements. That's why it's so important to take this period to really search within and not be swayed by societal pressures, you know and the divine masculine, they go into this mindset. You know what, I'm just going to be single for my whole life. I'm just going to be like this, wandering around trying to live life to the fullest, but not hurting my divine feminine. So they actually go at all costs to protect their divine feminine's feelings. So if you see, they would stop posting so much on social media. They would stop viewing your social media stories because they don't want to give you that avenue of, oh, I am watching you or thinking about you. But you know what, they are seeing so much of your life through visions and divine visions. So the divine keeps giving them visions about what is happening to you, your past lives energetically. And that is why it's so important to fine tune your frequency so that you can help your divine masculine from less suffering. So the more you suffer, they suffer like 10 times more. Hey, Amy, we are having a very interesting discussion about the divine masculine journey and what they are going through. So I'm going to continue. So the denial phase just becomes bigger and bigger, just as much as the obsession phase for the divine feminine continues. So those are the contrasting, mirroring emotions. So when the divine feminine is so obsessed with the journey, there is so much denial from the divine masculine's perspective. So when the obsession energy shifts and surrender starts flowing in, then the divine masculine starts surrendering too. And then they start building hope that things may be different this time round, that union will be smooth, there won't be tragedy, there won't be trauma, past lives won't repeat again. So that's why, my dear divine feminines who are watching, it's so vital to watch your energies, to actually let go of feelings and emotions that don't really help you in this journey but push you back like 10 times, 20 times. Secondly, it's also about trusting the flow of things. You may feel like, oh, it's not happening, or why is it taking so long? But the why and the pushing is what creates the obsession bubble, which reflects back as the denial syndrome, which is what the divine masculines face, entangled by all the others that follow, which is past life memories and not understanding what this is. And not understanding what this is one of the biggest dilemmas that the divine masculine is going to face. So that is the reason why initially they spend so much time with you, the getting to know phase. They put you right up, and you wouldn't question it at all, because for any other 3D connection, that amount of time will definitely end up with a connection, or at least a friendship, or something that would create something that is powerful. But with twin flames, it starts off so high and mighty and wide, and then the denial phase sets in and the divine masculine starts to run. So initially, they spend so much time with their divine feminine, thinking about them, enjoying, basking in the energies of familiarity and the feeling of home and all that. And then suddenly they are like, oh no, what am I doing? So that's the period that it goes back to the second point I was making, is when they start saying nasty things to their divine feminine. They think that they're protecting their divine feminine, but what they're doing is hurting her more. So that's when, like I mentioned earlier, they would say stuff like, I'm not interested in you, I'm not in love with you, I do not like you, or I just treated you like a friend, I never had feelings. They will start saying all this sort of stuff. And the best part is, as the divine feminine, you will know internally that they are lying. And so this is the time that you don't react. You just respond by accepting whatever they say and giving them the space and working on yourself. And after saying all this, you know what they go through? Hell. Why did I do this to my divine feminine? How am I ever going to face her again? How am I ever? Because they can feel your pain, they can feel your heartbreak. So they never want to hurt you. more than they ever. And then that's when they will start creating, like, oh, I'm going on a fake date or blah blah. But that's the most they would go into, just to test you, to see that you have still feelings for them. But the truth is, the feelings never go away. That is the intensity of the divine masculine journey. So you think that they are not watching you, but they are watching you in ways that you will never imagine energetically. So they know what is happening with you, they know what is going on. So that's why if you harbor energies of obsession and depression, they are going to keep running. So the moment you actually change and fine tune your energies, their energies mirror back in contrast to something a little bit more positive in 3D terms. So that's when you start seeing your divine masculine visiting you again, or trying to make plans, or divinely orchestrated meetings start to take place. And you can't force this phase on you, you can't like think, okay, I'm going to stop thinking about my divine masculine, I'm going to stop doubting this journey. Another thing is, the doubt that they face is what mirrors back to the divine feminine collective, and that's why there's a stream of doubt that goes back and forth all the time. So there's so much contrast mirroring. So when I mean contrast mirroring, is it's the same kind of feelings and emotions that are being mirrored, but in contrasting situations. That's what I was going to say. So, guys, I think I've kind of shared with you um, what the divine masculine is actually going through and the phases. So some of you have just joined me. You can watch this video from the start, as this video is going to be here on the page. So now my live Q&A starts. So keep the questions coming in, and I'll just continue talking about what I've been talking about. So Amy has a question. Just let go. It's not a question. She has a comment. Just let go. It's so hard, but so worth it. It isn't linear. I'm better, but struggle at times. Yeah, and remember, it's not a linear journey. So something I want to talk about this as well. Some people think, oh, once I've union, that union is permanent. No, it happens in phases. So you may be in union for a while, and then you will experience another separation. So this happens in phases. So a multitude of mini unions lead to the major union. So you are never going to know which one is your more stable union. And also always think about it, life on earth is limited, lifespan and all that. So everything is limited, then how can you expect a permanent union? So you have to let go of the notion that you are in separation to begin with, because twin flames are never separated. It's one soul in two bodies. Like, how can you ever be separated, right? So Teresa's comment, letting go is the best thing you can do regardless of the connection, and go label free. Another key thing is, when the divine feminine tries to push the label of twin flame to their divine masculine, it scares them even more. And that is a big flaw in the entire twin flame journey, because the divine feminine tries to squeeze in the label, and that scares the shit out of the divine masculine. And the divine masculine is like, oh no, all the more they want to run, because they don't want to play with something that's spiritual and divine. So even if you say things like, we have a past life connection or a soulmate, it's just going to trigger them, because they are already seeing visions of you in their past. They don't need to know. This extra information is just going to scare them further. So try to be easy on that, guys. Like, don't rub it on their face that this connection is divine, because that causes pressure, and that pressure causes them to run more. So you have to give them time to grow and evolve and accept what is happening to them, and also build hope. And that takes time. It takes time. It just doesn't happen in like a few months. A lot of divine feminines expect things to happen so quickly. What a toxic relationship. Showing my kids it's okay to let a man come in and out of your life. How is this a divine relationship? Usually, when there's a level of toxicity such as that, then it's usually a karmic connection. It's not a twin flame one, because a twin flame connection, in its highest divinity, like I mentioned earlier, is not designed to cause interventions like that. So if you are in a relationship with your husband, or you already have a connection, then your divine masculine doesn't really come when things are going good with your family. It wouldn't come to create havoc or toxicity. Or And always remember, a twin flame journey doesn't really happen through physical action. So everything is actually going through the mental and spiritual plane. So all these challenges that I'm talking about is actually going through in the spiritual plane. And all the growth and the evolution stems out from there. So when I mean phases of mini unions, I mean that when both parties are actually free from other entanglements. So it's not like they step out of a connection, come to you, and go back into a connection. No, it doesn't work like that. Once the twin flame journey starts, they are actually devoted to the journey as much as the divine feminine is. So rarely there are third parties. At most, there might be dating going on, but it would not go past a date. And even that dating is to push you away or make you, um, you know, think that they are moving on. So that too is an illusional effect rather than. So there is divinity and purity in a twin flame connection. It never is never designed to cause havoc to, like, your children or your family members, or any existing connections. And even the hurt that you're experiencing, if you notice in the divine masculine journey, it's created by them. Their fear of losing you, their fear of hurting you. It's not coming from you, where you are telling them, don't hurt me, go away. You are not pushing them away. In fact, you are chasing. They are the ones who are running. And that running comes from their own self-created hell. Like how the divine feminine goes through her own experiences, and this is what triggers the dark night of the soul. And everyone thinks that you experience dark night of the soul once, but that too can happen in phases, and to each it's a unique journey. And that's why, like Teresa says, it's very, very, very important to go label free, because you don't want to put a label to this connection, because labels create expectations, and expectations create pressure, and pressure creates this unhealthy pattern of trying to hook your divine masculine. You can't hook because you're not in separation. So what's there to hook them? You are already one. It's like you are running after yourself in another body. And yes, the dark night of the soul happens to the divine masculine too, in actually a more intense capacity. So the divine masculines actually go through the dark night of the soul, and that's when they go into the workaholic phase. So they're experiencing dark night of the soul, and they bury themselves at work. So that's when you can get a hint, okay, they're going through and then they will start, they won't their social media would be extremely quiet. You would rarely see them. They might be going out and stuff, but they're still going through the dark night of the soul. And their dark night of the soul is actually a very, very, very challenging and a sad, because often a lot of divine masculines think that they're going mad and they might start abusing stuff. But because it is a divine journey, they would be divinely guided not to go into that kind of alcoholism or anything like that. And that's why they are being buried to work. And there will be they'll and with the dark night of the soul, there will be a kind of a spiritual guideline, a help that will come to them. So they will be guided by the universe, by God, and somehow this is what, and they have to go through that phase without much intervention from the divine feminine. So that's why when they are going through the dark night of the soul, it's essential to give them their space and let them heal and come out at their own time. All you can send, it's you can keep sending love and healing, and because you're both connected, right? So keep sending them that, so that will help them. And keep sending them good thoughts and love and understanding. Actually, the energies of understanding is something that you can send to your divine masculine and help elevate them. So Yeah, and always remember, guys, if there is toxicity coming out of any connection, seek the relevant help that you have to seek. I do not have to tell you all this. You guys already know. There's always a thin line between abuse and toxicity and divinity. And when something is divine, it's high vibrational and you will have the strength from God. So always pray to God and ask for guidance on the connection you're experiencing. Some connections can be fleeting, some connections can be misleading, some connections may take on the mask of a twin flame connection, but it could be a false twin flame situation or a karmic connection. So always take note of that. I do twin flame checks too. You can check out my album. Um, you guys can check out some healings as well, like detachment healings. You can check them out in my albums. Usually, my healings go for like a month or even longer because I don't like to overwhelm, and each one has got their own thing happening. So, even though it might be a detachment healing, but sometimes I do it in phases so that it allows you to actually flourish and evolve rather than sending you all the healing and not giving you the space to grow and evolve. So you may check that out. I'm having a promo as well for the next 48 hours on my April new services. So you may want to check that out too. But anyway, back to what is going on here. Okay, Teresa, question is a very good one. Can you explain how not all karmic connections are bad? We tend to think, you see, there's a lot of negativity associated with the word karma, but actually, karma means cause and effect. So, for everything that like everything that you put out, there is a reaction. So, for every action, there's a reaction. So, karmic connections come from past lives shared together, and twin flames also have past lives. So, in some connections, there are toxicity because in past lives there were unhealthy patterns that took place, and then another life is given as an opportunity to rectify those patterns. So, that is the reason why, on a surface level, some karmic connections tend to take on a very toxic, but not all are. So some are actually, just cause and effect. So if you put in all the good that's happening in past lives, all the good is going to just multiply. So that's the reason why you have to think of it in just in terms of cause and effect rather than attaching negativity to karma. So not all karmic connections are bad. Some karmic connections are designed to elevate you. So in a past life, you may not have succeeded in a certain career. And so that same partner, karmic partner, might return to actually help you succeed in your career in this lifetime. So that is empowering, right? So that's why it's important to check out the streams of connection to see whether this connection is helping you, serving you, helping you navigate through life. It's empowering you, inspiring you. So these are all things that you have to take note of. Natasha, how does a monadic twin flame manifest in a relationship? How do you know if you're with a twin flame and if you're monadic? I do Agashik record checks for my clients. So that's how I confirm whether it's a split twin flame situation or whether it's a monadic twin flame situation. And how do you manifest is with monadic twin flames, union has already happened in other planets, in other periods of time. So you come back here, but you still go through like a mini separation. And for monadic twin flames, it's more of a mission oriented lifetime here. So a lot of monadic twin flames are here on missions. So that's why it's on a case by case basis. So you can manifest if you start realizing who you are on a soul level, that you're a star seed, you're a monadic twin flame, you're on earth on a mission. All these awareness and activations will actually help you to awaken to your own divinity, and this will trigger manifestation, Natasha. So yeah, I've learned a lot, and what I'm seeing now makes more sense to me. Yes, It's a constant learning journey. So always remember, like, whatever the divine masculine is going through as well stems from their own insecurities, from their own lack of mindset. Imagine if you are feeling unloved and not beautiful enough, how would they be feeling? We always have this misconception that men don't feel anything, that it's women who have it harder, but it's not. Men go through terrible rejections in school and life as well. In fact, the pressure is higher because we have been conditioned and told not to cry, to be manly, to never show vulnerability. So, how can they be vulnerable in a twin flame connection when there's so much of societal conditionings that they have to get through by? And this societal conditioning is one of the other big challenge. And continuing on my topic, this is what they go through, struggling with societal conditionings on what they are supposed to experience and what they're supposed to feel. So that's why they get confused when the divine feminine starts chasing them, because they have been conditioned societally that the men are the ones who chase and the women don't. So when a woman starts chasing, to them it's like, oh my goodness, why is she desperate? So that 3D thing envelopes into this 5D notion, and that's when intense dilemma takes place. Amy, can you also tell how to distinguish karmic partners versus karmic contracts within the TF connection? It is something that came up in a healing. I was told that it didn't feel like a karmic relationship, but the cords attached were. Okay, karmic contracts can happen with anybody. So that's why there is a contract breaking healing as well that I do, but I don't really advertise it, but you can always inquire. So before you incarnate on earth, some souls make contracts like, oh, I will help you out, I would heal you, or so that can become toxic on earth. So this is not necessarily a romantic relationship or like a partner relationship. It could be anyone. It could be, so that's the reason why when you do contract cutting, it actually helps you to restore your free will, and you can help people if you want to rather than being bound to. So that's why it's essential to do like a soul realignment healing, so that it helps you to go back to your original blueprint instead of having soul contracts or whatever and stuff like that. So always remember that you can also consciously tell the universe and tell the God, you know what, I do not want to have a contract with this person anymore and I want to cut it. And it's easy as words. But with some people struggle, and that's why healers like us assist in this, in helping you cut contracts that you might have previously made on the soul plane. So usually with in the TF journey, when TFs actually meet in the physical, usually there is a spiritual awakening that has happened for both twins. So the divine feminine and the divine masculine actually experience dark night of the soul even before meeting their twin flame in the physical. So this spiritual journey actually kickstarts years before the twin flame journey comes in. So there is already a level of healing and clearing that takes place, because the twin flame connection is a high energy one. You still have to be at a certain stage spiritually to be able to meet your divine masculine. So that is the reason why healing is even possible, and that's the reason why you're able to handle a dark night of the soul, because you have already experienced mini awakenings. And it's also mission and purpose oriented. Usually you would be at a time where you are serving the world or the community, or you're making incredible changes. It could be something small, it could be something big. You should never look at the magnitude of it. So that's why karmic contracts are something that it's quite you got this, you can clear it, and you don't have to be bound by anyone or any contracts. That's why you can change your destiny at will as well. That's why cord cutting with other unwanted connections are it's quite a good healing practice to do. Amy, my person has so much insecurity through the society conditioning. This has been a huge thing we have worked through. So yeah, guys, society conditioning is what the divine masculine goes through, and the insecurities that come with it, and all those notions of what love should be, and what life should be, and what a partner should be, and how a woman should be, everything, because the twin flame connection is designed to break all 3D notions. And that's why the circumstances between twins are like huge age gaps, or intense cultural differences, or you are both in different countries, or there might be family opposition or something. So for some, the age gap might be a big issue. So if the divine masculine is like a decade older, they'll be like, why am I so drawn to this girl? Like, to them, they are like, she's so young, like, why, what if I hurt her? She's like a flower, I want to be delicate. But all this kind of stuff goes through their mind, and then they push them away thinking that they can do better. But who are they to decide what you can do better, right? As much as you thinking they should only be with you. So that creates another energy, mirroring, contrasting mirroring behavior as well. So guys, I'm going to go for another 10 more minutes. I've got an appointment in an hour for my booster shot. And in Singapore, you have to be vaccinated to be able to do a lot of stuff. So yeah, and the booster is now is, is part of the, yeah, if not, your vaccination status will expire. Anyway, guys, I'll go on for another 10 minutes, and throw in as many questions. Maybe I could do another 15 minutes. Let's see. So the longer the DM stays away, even though we are working on ourselves, I feel there's still a fear that we will never reunite. So that fear that you will never reunite is a very divine feminine thing because of the time. Like I explained earlier in my video, this comes from past life trauma, past life separation that took place where time was limited, and your divine masculine witnessed you dying. So for the divine feminine is, all I want is time with my divine masculine. So I don't care if we are in union or not. I just want to spend time in the physical with my divine masculine. And sometimes it's not even it's as a romantic thing or anything. They just want to be in the presence of their divine masculine, and engage in conversation. It could be as simple and less complicated as that. But even that becomes impossible because the divine masculine is so afraid that the divine feminine is going to be taken away from them. They don't even want to create. They feel like they are jinxed, or like someone is going to do something to prevent the connection from happening. So, and one example is the movie Adjustment Bureau. So if you guys have the time, watch the movie Adjustment Bureau. I feel it's a very twin flame movie. It's Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. So in that movie, they will meet, he will be inspired, and he will run for elections. And after that, they will somehow um, make sure that he loses her number and they never meet again. And then they will meet and they will be briefly united. And then the angels, or the people who are running the show, would tell Matt Damon that if you are with her, you're going to destroy her life too, and your life too, and you're both never going to see success in your life. And then they would actually demonstrate that to them, by because she's a ballerina. They will show like how she'll break her legs, and then they'll say, if you don't separate from her now, she will never be a ballerina for her entire life. So this kind of challenges or fears would manifest. So this movie shows external manifestations of the sabotage that twins may do to one another. But ultimately, there is union because they surrender and they are gifted with free will that they already had by God. So that's what you guys have to do. You have to complete. It's called the Adjustment Bureau. Let me key that in the comment. It's such a good movie, guys. I think you should, if you guys want a good movie, you should watch it. Adjustment Bureau. Yes, it's such a twin flame movie. Like, from time to time, I'll think about wow, the chemistry and the connection and the divine intervention and the challenges and everything. So yeah, so a lot of divine feminines think that they are divine masculine. They are doing things intentionally where they are not. All they want is for you to be happy and live your best life. And they think that they being there would only cause you more distress and pain. So they try to move away from you at all costs. And that's why sometimes blocking happens. And always remember this is a divine connection, and it's divinely guided and it's divinely protected. So always trust in God, trust in the universe that you will be led, and always believe there is union because you guys are never separated at all. Always believe there's union in 3D as well, but start to view it in a very relaxed manner, and that's how you elevate your vibrations. So you do it in a very um, relaxed face, and that's why meditation helps, yoga helps, because it balances your chakras. Chakra healings help, like all this play a part in elevating your vibration. So just like you go gym to build muscles, you do yoga to build spiritual muscles, by balancing your chakras. See, when you open up your chakras and balance them, there will be so many changes taking place. So there could be a task that you have been putting away for a very long time. But if you balance your root chakra, the foundational chakra, then you may see, hey, I'm able to do it. Like everything that was causing me stagnancy is moving. And there's so many ways to clear and balance your chakras. There's so many mantras on YouTube, because you just have to say the root mantras for chakra balancing and healing as well. I do Reiki. You can balance um, your chakras by Reiki healing, Isis Seichi healing, star healing. So many. There's so much out there. So that's why it's important to take responsibility to spend some time to take care of yourself, just like how you go to the doctor to get medication for like fever. It's vital to actually balance your chakras once in a while to live your best life. And yoga is a great way. So sign up for a yoga class, or Reiki healings are good. I offer them. You can check them out, or you can DM me to inquire about them as well. But always remember, it's in your hands. Your healing journey is in your hands, and trusting the universe, praying to God, and actually engaging. So sometimes, dude, it's not like meditation or doing yoga are like the only forms of spiritual practice. Connecting with nature, doing things you love, spending time with your loved ones, spending time with your nephew or nieces, with children, helping out in an old folks home, all this actually help balance your chakras too, because this is high energy work that you're doing. So you don't have to be limited that, oh, you have to do these things to be spiritual. Spirituality is in day-to-day living. It's in how you're feeling, and that's how spirituality grows, spiritual evolution takes place. It's about being content at the moment, and when you're doing your own stuff, your divine masculine will peek back into your life because they will feel better too. So the contrasting, mirroring illusions will start to disappear, and slowly their fears of losing you or that trauma, they'll be able to heal that trauma from their past lives when you are healing as well. That's why there's also what you call healing mirroring. When you're healing, they are healing too, and that's when eventually they will have the courage to face whatever it is. They will be like, you know what, I'm going to try again this lifetime. Whatever may happen, I'm still going to be in union with my divine feminine. And that's how unions happen. It happens consciously, it happens in complete surrender, it happens with divine timing, it happens with divine guidance, it happens with God's blessing. So that's why, guys, be free. Never feel like you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're not spiritual enough. Get rid of those limiting beliefs, because those limiting beliefs are what that's holding you back. A lot of divine feminines have this notion that they do not deserve love, they are not worthy of love, and that itself is a toxic patterning. And when you mirror that back, and when your divine masculine experiences, they would start feeling that they are not good enough, or not they are not worthy enough. And that's how the runner chaser phase goes on and on and on. And always find your purpose, live your purpose. Most of you are already living your purpose. Do the best you can. Do not give up on your life or anyone. Enjoy this precious moment with your friends and family. Don't be obsessed with just your twin flame. There's so much more to life. And that's why going label free is very important, because remove the label. Because when you have the label, there's pressure. And then you feel like, oh, there should be a timeline, there should be this. The label is only there to help you understand the journey, not dictate everything that's happening in your journey. So that's why, guys, go label free, embrace the connection, embrace the spiritual evolution, embrace the healing. Work consciously on healing your childhood traumas, past life traumas. We always here to help. I offer a list of readings and healings and consultations as well. You can always ask me for time. Sometimes I take longer because I don't want to overwhelm you with healings, and I like to deliver reports when things are more stable as well, so that I'm able to explain. So if you guys want updates, please message me to ask. Thank you all for your tremendous support and being present during these lives every week. I love doing these lives with you, and we inspire one another. And thank you all. So it's an hour, and you guys have a great weekend. So it's Saturday night for some, and it's like Sunday afternoon. And so you guys have a great weekend. This video will be out there, so you guys can watch it whenever you want in your own timing. I've introduced some new services for April. Check that out. And for the next 48 hours, there's a 30% discount for, and I've left the link there. So it's just for the April introductory services. So check that out, guys. And thank you so much, Annalisa. Thank you so much, Bharati. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Amy. And keep the questions coming in, guys. I'll think of a better topic next week. If you guys are interested in a topic, feel free to DM me, or leave a comment or something, and we will talk again. And if you want to inquire about any about my private services, do not hesitate to contact me. I'm here for you guys to help you all. And yes, Natasha, yoga is great. I love Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga is one of the um, energetically, you can feel your like kundalini rising. It's a very powerful yoga. You guys may want to check that out. Or any kind of yoga. Hatha yoga is great. Vinyasa is great. Like all yogas are great. Anything, exercise is great. You don't even have to do yoga. You can do any form of exercise. It could be a run. Basically, do things like, it's called mind gym. Do things that empower your mind and elevates your energy. So take care, guys, and have a great week. And I'll see you all next week around this time. Stay tuned. Take care. Love you all, and thank you for everything. Bye bye.